Hey everyone, Reminiscible here. So Trump won the presidency. Um, Very distressing, but I would have been distressed on the other side of the coin as well. So the thing is, Bitcoin. Um, a while ago it was less than 600 Canadian dollars per Bitcoin. Now it's like 990 plus Canadian dollars per Bitcoin. In the course of like under a year. That's a big change. Um, Now, here's why I've decided. Here's why I've decided not to buy Bitcoin. It's because I can't find a good seller. So, the resellers charge 7.5% above Bitcoin price and will buy like below the price. And that's like, I find it hard to imagine that Canadian dollar would crash that hard because we're tied to the US currency. And even if Trump crashes the global economy, um, the US currency is so closely tied to oil and like it's so like people have to buy US currency to buy oil in the Middle East, let alone from the US and other countries like Canada. I don't know about Canada. Um, so if US currency goes down, so does ours. US currency should go down, but it's not going to go down 7.5%. Um, at least not this week. Over the course of the next month, the next year, I don't know. Um, like Trump has said before, that if he crashes the American economy, he can just make some deal, and that it'll be okay if the American economy, let alone the global economy, goes bankrupt, because that's how he makes his money. So, is he going to crash the economy? I mean, I have no clue. I have no clue. I don't like gambling. But this reminds me a lot of Brexit. Then again, he's trying to maintain military spending. So, I mean, military-industrial complex seems to be operating for profit. So they should be able to maintain a lot of geopolitical influence and keeping US currency strong with regards to global oil exports, imports, trade, tariffs, just preventing countries from having independence from US currency. So that'll keep US currency strong in the long term, but in the short term, like Trump makes his money by bankrupting companies and stealing the money from the investors. So who are Trump's investors? I don't know. I guess Trump's investors are the people who voted for him? I he wants to make money, but I don't know how. But will the US dollar fall 7.5%? Well, the real question is, how much will Bitcoin rise, right? Because even if the US dollar doesn't fall that much, Bitcoin has to rise. It has to. So, I don't know. Will it rise 7.5%? Probably. Will that happen in this year? I don't know. Will I be able to sell at the current Bitcoin rate? Probably not. But yeah, all the resellers, they sell for like 7% higher than the Bitcoin price. It's pretty dumb. Even if you go with a cash deposit, with actual cash, there's still this rate you have to pay. The best bet would be if MindArc with Entropia Universe accepts Bitcoin as they said they would, because then you could convert it to PED, and then you could convert the PED to euros, and then convert the euros to US dollars, and then you convert the US dollars to Canadian dollars, or maybe fewer steps than that. And I mean, I don't know what prices MindArc will offer, but certainly better than what these resellers offer, I think. Oh my god, I am so stressed. I don't want the Canadian economy to crash like Britain's economy did. Britain's economy crashed hard. And the US dollar has been inflating so much. And if the US economy crashes, how vulnerable is Canada's? I just don't know. Why did he have to be elected? I fucking hate the global economy. So fucked up. Really need resellers who don't like charge these random tariffs. I think maybe there are websites that give better rates. There's gotta be, because there just has to be. It might be because the higher rates might be because the middleman has to get paid for escrow. Oh my god. I'm really scared. Will my money be worthless? But I mean, 7.5%, that's killing myself in the short term. And then I have to find a way to convert it back when I need it. It has not been a good night. On the other hand, we're not going to have the Trans-Pacific Partnership, hopefully, for the next 4 years. I mean, I'm thinking all the bad things. I'll have to cut my beard, I guess. I mean, maybe some American girl will be looking for Canadian citizenship and want to marry me for that. So I guess that's a card under my sleeve. It's rough. And I mean, even if there is a nuclear war, I don't think Russia would be involved because Trump doesn't want a no-fly zone in Syria, last I've heard, because he doesn't want to start World War III against Russia. So that's good, but threatening to use nuclear strikes in the Middle East is not good. And then what if NATO dissolves? Like, now Russia's free to invade NATO countries, and Trump will be like, well, whoever pays the most money, I side with, basically. So, is NATO going to fall apart? I'm scared. Like I'm quivering. Um, yeah. And the thing is, I have all of my money in liquid assets, so it's an actual decision I can make, right? Oh my God. Yep. Americans realized Hillary was a demonical candidate, so they just picked another demonical candidate. It just, and like, in a sane world, people would elect people like Bernie Sanders or Jill Stein, and suddenly military-industrial complex is no longer in power and, or, well, still in power, but not receiving half of your tax dollars. And someone would care about the environment. Trump doesn't even know what global warming is. He doesn't understand about like gas trapping heat rather than reflecting sunlight out into the abyss. Like, if you reflect sunlight back down to the ocean over and over again with clouds. Actually, now I don't know how global warming works, but I do know that when I'm working inside of a greenhouse, it gets hot. Likewise, if there's lots of carbon dioxide or water vapor in the atmosphere, it gets hot. And I think we may have already passed the tipping point this year for runaway global warming. Like, the human race might not even survive to start having to worry about strong AI taking over the economy and taking over the political system. Like, we just might have mass desertification everywhere. And, basically a crusade of Christians against Muslims and people with the Caucasians and Arabs just getting caught in the crossfire. I don't think I'll buy any Bitcoin. It's just the resellers charge way too much. If I could buy it at like 3% above regular price, or 2%. If I could buy it at 2.5% above regular price, then I would buy like $5,000 Bitcoin. If it was lower than that, I'd buy more. Like 2 or 4 times as much. But yeah. If like if I ever visit the US, I can't bring this beard with me because they'll be like, "Oh my God, he's a terrorist. He supports ISIS." Why? Because people with beards, that's the stigma, you know? I'm not even Arab. I'm Spanish, Aymara, Hungarian, Italian, like quarter Italian, quarter Spanish, maybe like an eighth Aymara, an eighth Hungarian, an eighth, just some country near Hungary. I don't know. Just European, Spaniard, South American. There's a lot of Spanish in South America. And, but yeah, if you bring the beard, if you rock the beard, then terrorist, because, you know, I don't know. That's apparently how it's advertised on TV, you know. Long beard equals terrorist. And now the hate is going to be insane. I live in Canada, so we actually have like health care and women's rights, and it's much more multicultural than the United States. Oh my God. To be a woman of color in the US right now, I would be like traumatized. I would be willing to marry someone like me just to get out of the US and have Canadian citizenship. Yo, Canadian citizenship, yo. So maybe I need a phone so I can get on Maple Match, or I don't know. It's pretty messed up.